What's up, y'all? Thanks for coming back to the Gen X Gardener, where Saturday morning cartoons will always be the best part of the weekend, and my Saturday includes Gem and the Holograms. Autumn is fast approaching, and that means it's time for some late season tomato pruning. Come on back and we'll do it together. So it's currently September 5th, I think it is, and daytime still 25 to 30, which is nice, but the evenings are definitely cooling down, which means we're kind of going to start seeing some slowing down of tomato production. One way that we can kind of increase the final yield or the final push is to make sure that we're pruning the tomato plants. This is where I have the single stem, everything staked up. I'm 186. It's fucking glorious. A lot of people want to top their tomatoes as it's getting towards fall. I never do, only because I grow a lot of small to medium-sized tomatoes personally, and I'll have those ripe until the end of October, so I just allow it to go. As for right now, we're just gonna go in, and first kind of thing is I'm gonna be looking for any kind of branches that either had tomatoes that have already been completely harvested. Like this is a large tomato variety. It's obvious that's not gonna do anything, so I'm gonna probably get rid of that. What I'm also gonna be doing is getting rid of any leaves that are lower than the lowest set of fruit. The other thing we're gonna be doing is getting rid of any suckers that we find. In all of these situations, those are areas of the plant that is taking water, taking nutrients from what otherwise could be used towards ripening your tomatoes. Anything that's looking a little bit brown or potentially diseased or some sort of problem, that I'm gonna be putting right in the yard waste bag. We don't want anything that could be harboring a bad bacteria or a disease of any sort. We don't want that in the compost because that can fuck us up next season. This might still ripen. I've got no problem with this, so I'm gonna leave this, obviously, and then I'm not gonna trim anything else on this because everything else is above that fruit. Look how much has been opened up now. You get so much more air moving through here because we've gotten rid of all the lower branches. Okay, this one's a little bit unique. You can have suckers coming out pretty much anywhere. So in this case, we had the main plant and the suckers are coming right out of the roots. Those are coming right out of the ground. So I'm just gonna get rid of those because we don't need those. Now I'm not gonna cut them too low because I don't want the dirt to get in there. So I am gonna cut them up here just so that they're a little bit away from any soil-borne diseases. This is my Brandywine, and the Brandywine has a different kind of leaf. They call this like a potato leaf variety of tomato. Now, when it was first growing up, I didn't realize that Brandywine had a different one. So I actually thought I accidentally labeled tomatillo plants as Brandywine. So because of that, I did not single stem it beyond this point because I thought it was, as it got to this point, I thought it was tomatillo, so I let it go. Now because of that, we've actually got 2 branches coming out. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna trim down the single branches as well. And now we've got our first tomato start on that line, right? So now they get a lot more air, they get a lot more sun coming in, they're gonna get more heat, they're gonna ripen up a lot quicker. This is a Brandywine. I think it's gonna be my new record setter. I've got a couple tomatoes that have dropped, and I just leave them there. And you know why? Because it's the easiest food to find for an animal. And if a squirrel or something comes in there and it finds that's already got a bite out of it that I'm not going to use anyways, and eats that instead of climbing up and eating that, then I'm a happy fucking gardener. I'm not going to leave a whole bunch around because I don't want it to be a fucking smorgasbord for varmints. But you know, a couple tomatoes around for a squirrel looking for probably just a little bit of a little drink of water, to be honest. I mean, they probably need the liquid out of there more than they need the food. Right, now here's a situation where we do have some fruit down here, but we also have some not terribly good looking leaves of branches, or branches of leaves, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're brown and they're shitty and I don't want them. So even though this goes against my rule of not trimming above your lowest fruit, I am going to get rid of these because I don't know if that's nutrient uptake or if that's a disease. So I'm going to come in here. This is fine. It's nice and green. I'm going to clip off all of these branches that have the questionable leaves. This was called a sweet gold cherry tomato. This is one of the few ones that I got from a nursery. The good ones are really good, but overall, I'm not happy with this variety. It split way too soon. They were a nice yellow, very sweet tomato. But like I said, the actual 60% I ended up throwing away because they split way too quick. All right, this plant here is a little bit of a fucking mess. I cut off a branch and the sucker still came out. This plant's been producing well. Delicious little grape tomatoes. Those are going to be fine. So I'm just going to leave those, even though those are suckers and I said I was going to be trimming suckers. I'm going to leave those because they've got nice little fruit sets on them. No reason to get rid of them. I'll get rid of this branch because it had some yellow old leaves on it. I'll get rid of this branch because why the fuck do I want it? I'll get rid of this because I've already harvested everything that was on that. Now the question becomes, what's going on with this fucker? Okay, that sucker is this. It has a nice little fruit set. I'm going to tie it up and see how things go. Shit, did I just cut off some fucking fruit? Oh, god damn it. Measure twice, cut once, motherfuckers. Drastically different now that we've got all those bottom leaves cut off. Now we're gonna have a lot of airflow. Now when we water, we know we're not getting those leaves wet. We're not gonna have soil-borne disease heading up and in there. We're not gonna have water mildewing or anything like that. Speaking of water, we're gonna make sure that these guys get a very good drink. I'm also gonna make sure that I fertilize them. We wanna make sure that we have a low nitrogen count. Nitrogen is what pushes out leaves in the greenery, maybe in the 0, 10, 10 or something that's going to help the roots and the fruit, but is not going to provide nitrogen to the leaves. There's your late season pruning for single stem tomatoes. Remember, we want to again get rid of the lower leaves. We want to get rid of any of the tomato branches that we've already harvested everything off of. We want to get rid of any diseased or browned leaves and get rid of all those suckers. And do that, all the energy is going to shoot up into the final home stretch of those tomatoes. Thanks again for watching. Remember, at the end of the day, if you're not dirty, you're not doing it right. See you next time.